Hi everybody, thank you for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.com. I'm back with a creative project and we are going to make this little box. And can you see how it has a very interesting sort of, is it like a squat pyramid? I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call it. It reminds me a little bit of a sort of a mini American takeout box. And this is all hand stamped. Yeah, so should we just get on and I'll show you how to make it? Okay, so we need to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This measures 6.5 by 10.5 inches. We're going to use a brand new stamp set called Petal Palate. This is available to order now. It's from the new Spring Summer catalogue and we're going to use this beautiful leaf. And it's actually a two-part stamp set, so you actually get two boxes of stamps. You get one with these gorgeous images and one with lots of really lovely sentiments. So it's a really good stamp set. I have been playing with it an awful lot. Right, so I've mounted that leaf I just talked about, and we are going to, this is Emerald Envy. I thought we'd mix it up a bit and we'd go bold and bright with Melon Mambo. Let's see how this is going to work. So let's pop that there. And you know how to do this. There is no right or wrong way. We are just going to stamp. Oh, if you can get lots of ink on your ink. Oh, my ink pad's a bit dry. Let's see if we get enough to do this. I'm just going to stamp sort of all over with this gorgeous leaf image. And I'm just rotating my stamp set as I go along to sort of alternate the pattern. Okay, there we go. Put the ink away and we're ready to do some scoring. So let me just grab my scoreboard. Here we go, and we're going to score to begin with the short side, and we are going to score, this here is my scoring tool, we're going to score this at 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 3.5 inches, and it's 6 inches. Okay, I'm going to turn it round and we are going to score it along the long side at 2.5 inches, 5 inches, 7.5 inches, and at 10 inches. Okay, I'm going to flip it over now so that this section is at the top. Have I done this right? Yep, I think so. And we're going to score it at 1 inch. So what? Yeah, sorry. Oh, you can't see. Sorry about that. You couldn't see the measurements, could you? All of the measurements will be over on my blog, so don't worry if you missed any of them. You can see the top of the scoreboard now. We're going to score along the top. So what I've done is I've flipped it round. So I've got a little sort of 1 inch score line there. I'm going to put that at the top corner of my scoreboard. And we're going to score it at 1 inch. But we are only going to score down to this first score line here. Okay, so just down to this first score line that goes across in that direction. So we're going to score it down to 1 inch, 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7.5 inches, 8.5 inches, and at 10 inches. Okay, so we like something like that. You see, they just go down to that first score line in the other direction. Okay, now I'm going to put the scoreboard away, but I am going to keep out my scoring tool because we will need that in a second. We are just going to quickly fold and burnish along all of our full length score lines. So not along those little ones that we've just done, but all of the full length score lines we are going to score, and we're going to fold and burnish. Okay. That's it. Are there more? Yep. Okay. Now we are going to cut along those score lines we've just made, those little ones. So just cutting along each of those. And the last one at the end. Okay, and then we are just going to cut those off. So what we've made is 5 flaps effectively, and we're just going to cut those off. That beautiful stamping being cut away. And at the end there's a double flap. So there's 4 that are sort of an inch, and then 1 little one at the end, and we're left with something that looks like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my ruler, here it is, and my scoring tool that we just had. Ooh. And what we need to do is we need to score from this flap here, oh you can't see, from sort of the edge of the flap that we've just cut across to the score line at the top. So that's 1. And then we're going to move to the centre, and we're always going to go from the edge of the flap to the cross on the score line there. That's 2. Okay, and then the next one obviously goes in the opposite direction. So from the edge of the flap there to the point where the score lines intersect. So let me just show you how that one looks, if you can see it. You see I've scored a sort of a triangle shape around that crease there. Okay, so I'm just going to do that all the way along. Now just take a second to make sure you get these quite as close to the points as you can, because this is what's going to make your box really neat when we fold it up. This box maybe looks a little bit complicated, but it really isn't. As you know, I don't like complicated crafting. I think it's a really nice and unique shape. Okay, now this bit is going to be our flap that's going to seal over here, so we're not going to do this scoring just yet. So what we then need to do is we need to fold and burnish along these little score lines we've just done. So what you need to do is, if you remember, pattern onto pattern. So if you try to fold across, pattern onto pattern, and get your bone folder in and make that nice and sharp. And then on the other side again, pattern down onto pattern, and fold that over and make that nice and sharp. I'm just going to do that all the way along, pattern onto pattern. There we go. This one again. And this last one here. Okay. And then you can hopefully start to see how it's going to come together. And these are going to push in like that, and that's what's going to give you that nice sort of diamond chamfer shape as we fold it up. So before we fold it up, we're just going to do a little bit more cutting, and that is along each of these long score lines now. So we're going to go down these, across one score line and to the centre. So we've got a little flap, and then we've gone down to this score line. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and when we fold it up, this is going to be our flap that comes forward and closes the box. So we're just going to cut off this little piece here, and then we're going to cut off the 1/2 inch section on the top of our next flap. Okay, the next flap we are going to cut off completely. Hopefully you're still following me. Cut that one across there. And the last one we're going to cut off the side like that. Okay, now these two ones I'm just going to chamfer out and cut off about an inch off the end there. Make that a bit straighter. The same with this one. Chamfer it off and then about an inch off the end, just like that. Okay, now we're nearly ready to fold it up. And what I need to do now is I just want to score this side. Now this is going to fold over and glue onto here. So we need to make sure that our score line, when they match up, go in the right direction. So what I need to do is I forgot to do this one, is from here to here again, like that. And then also on the flap, make sure you do the same score line. And then those score lines are the same when they come over on top of each other, so they should fold in nicely. So I'm just going to fold that one and burnish it, and I'm going to fold this one here and also on the flap. Okay, so we are now going to put some snail on this flap, this little flap here. And just make sure you get a good run of fuse all the way along it. Just makes it easier to make sure it will stick together. And then it's easy just to fold over and line those up. Okay, so basically you've got what is a square box with small flaps here. And then to bring it together, as I said, just going to push that triangle in. Bring those two sides together like that, and then when you've brought them together, give them a fold with your bone folder just to make them nice and taut. So you do this one next, fold them in together like that, and you can see you get that nice chamfer there. This one here, fold them in together, and you get in with your bone folder to make that nice and creased once you've pushed it in. And then the next one, we're just going to push it in once again. There we go. Now this is the one, these are my joins. We've got a little bit more cardstock, so just careful to get that nice and sharp. There we go. Okay, now to bring it together, what I find is the easiest way to do it is to find which flap is going to be your back. So this one's going to come forward, so this is going to be our first flap that we're going to put down. And I'm just going to put some fuse on the pattern side of your back flap, okay? And then push in your edges, fold it down, and just bring over the next side and stick that down, and that helps to pull it together. And then we can put a bit of snail on our other two flaps, some there and some there. Hopefully you're following along. And this one's going to go in next, this one at this side. So just push it in together and just line up your edges, pushes together nicely, and push these sides in. There we go. You can see you've made the box that has that lovely shape. Then you may just need to, and we do, you just need to trim a little bit off the edge of each of these flaps, and that makes it nicely go in. Sorry everybody, my memory card was full, so I've just deleted some things. I've been filming quite a few videos for you to look forward to over the next few weeks, but hopefully you saw we had just finished making that box. I think it's a really cute and quite original shaped box actually. Yeah, I really like it. Just a little bit of final decoration. We're going to use one of the sentiment sets from the Petal palette suite. Going to use Congratulations, just like I used on this box. So I've already mounted that, and I need a scrap of Whisper White. I'm going to bring back in my Melon Mambo ink pad. I'm just going to ink that up. Ooh, and a new punch to show you. Look at this one. This is a cool shape, isn't it? This was actually kind of the inspiration for the shape of the box. I was sort of looking at this sort of triangular thing. I think subconsciously that's where the box shape inspiration came from. So I'm just going to crop that sentiment out with my new punch. Ooh, lovely new punch. And then here I have my stamp set and my leaves again, and I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm just going to sort of touch that across the top of my diamond just to get a little few leaves on there, just to add a bit more interest. Let me put the ink away. And then this is going to stick on the top of the box with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a dimensional on either side. Okay, where's the sort of flap goes that way? Yep, so you can see how that folds up very nicely. Oh, I made a bit of a mess of that, haven't I? Let me do that again. The ink mustn't have dried in time. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, super quick. Okay, a bit of ink, dop. There we go, and my punch. Slide that in. There we go. Bring in my leaves again. Oh, now it's stuck to my stamp set. One there. And one there. And make sure we give that a second to dry so we don't make the same mistake again. While I'm doing that, I'm going to show you the ribbon we're going to use to tie this with. This is another new product. It is a beautiful, I think it's called sheer organza, or maybe just organza ribbon. It's in Whisper White, and this actually dyes really well if you want to use it with your stamping blends. So we're going to use that to tie up our box. So a few dimensionals, 1, 2. They're going to go front. Let me go. Pop that down there like that. And then I'm just going to thread this ribbon through, bring it round, and I'm going to thread it through again. Keep pulling this round. So I'm just going to see I've wrapped it around twice. I think it just gives it a little addition. Quite a subtle ribbon, but I actually really like it. Remember, I'm doing paper and ribbon shares. I put a link to the information on those in the info bar below, but if you pop over to Crafty Caroline Creates, you will find that. Ribbon and paper shares for all of the new ribbons and paper in the Spring Summer catalogue. And then I'm just going to give this a tie in a little knot. Okay. Fingers and thumbs. I'm out of practice of tying bows. Who am I kidding? I've never been any good at it. And then I'm just going to snip and snip, and there we have it. A really cute, very nicely shaped little box. Thanks for watching. I will be back very soon with lots more inspiration, and remember, you can shop Stampin' Up products at craftycarolinecreates.com 24/7. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.